Okay, we want to make sure that the microphone levels are okay. Because I lost everything. I had to wipe the PC again. That's 3 days in a row with crashes. We want to make sure that the microphone levels are okay. Because I lost everything. I had to wipe the PC again. That's 3 days in a row with crashes. We want to make sure that the microphone levels are okay. It's okay. Because I lost everything. I had to wipe the... I'm sure it's fine. It's playing the desktop audio, so it's gonna loop for a second and then it'll stop. It sounded okay to me. I will double check with people once there are people to double check with. All right, I'm feeling confident this time that we're not gonna crash, crash over and over. I think I had bad RAM. That seems to have been the problem. It appears to have probably been fixed, maybe. Starting fresh. I said that I guess the other VODs are gone because there was no point in keeping them up. But the first VOD, so I guess we'll call that the first attempt. We're gonna call this attempt number 2. First attempt ended in Harvest Valley for no reason, no good fucking reason. We're not doing that again. We're not gonna have that problem again. I'm feeling extremely confident this time. Extremely confident. I always have this anxiety where I want to have the actual broadcast up and not OBS. What the fuck? So I just have this anxiety that it's not streaming, but I suppose it would fucking tell me if it wasn't, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Everything looks good. Kind of looks stretched, actually. I think I might have it in the wrong aspect ratio. Look a dummy. No, that's the right aspect ratio. I don't know why it looks odd to me. Okay. The first half an hour of this run kills me. It absolutely kills me. But for all the practice runs, I know that y'all have not had to suffer through them, so it shouldn't be nearly as bad for you. But it does put me in this headspace where I'm like, oh my god, I gotta hurry up. Like, nobody wants to see this again. It's super consistent now, though. Like, the beginning, the first maybe hour is the dangerous part. The game gets much easier after that because you can tank a lot more, you deal a lot more damage off the top. It's just getting through the first, like, hour or so that can be a struggle. Especially cutting the DLC out, not having to worry about that. There's really just not much. It's really... This isn't a difficult run. It's just, like, my worst enemies are gravity, and then maybe a select few bosses. I have enough practice with Dark Lurker now that I'm just not worried about that, and that's necessary for an achievement for gathering all hexes. So that is a has to get done at least once. And I'm not really worried about that. At this point, actually, Vindrick can be an absolute slut with the amount of damage he deals. So I'm minorly worried about that, but not really. I was practicing the bosses in random order with save backups. And Vindrick, none of them did I really struggle with. Vindrick, certainly not Vindrick. So I'm not super worried about that, but there is the potential, you know, to get 2-tapped unexpectedly. Really, it's the Ancient Dragon who, there's a way to cheese him with a bow. I can't seem to figure it out myself. I'm sure if I really practiced it, I'd figure it out. And it would probably behoove me to do so. But I guess we're just gonna beat him normally, because at least I know how to do it that way, even if it's, like, finicky. Like, it's just a really bad boss, and the expectation... Oh, no, actually, I was going to say the expectation is that I'm going to have to kill him at least twice. Because... Is it twice? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's 2 times. But I don't... I think I only have to do it once, because I don't see why I would need his soul. His, giant soul. More than once. He definitely needed to kill Vindrick the one time, but I just don't think you have to do it again. Okay, so that's actually a load off my mind. We only have to get that part right once. And then actually, well, no, I suppose we can summon for... I was going to say Throne Watcher and Throne Defender. I struggle with. I know the Joseph Anderson review way back when. I don't even know how old that review is. But I know that review noted that that was an easier boss and probably should have been one of the first bosses to teach dealing with multiples. But I don't know that I agree with that. I don't know why I struggle with it. That being said, I used to struggle immensely with the 4 Kings in the first game, and that's actually a pretty easy fight as well. Like, I think the 4 Kings was probably the last boss that I got correct. Like, actually, I guess you could argue that I'm not very good at, what the fuck is his name? Gwyn? I'm still not good at that fight. I parry my way through it because I never had to learn how to do it any other way. I'd say that that's a pretty square step above people who do it like Crystal Soul Mass, though, so I don't feel too bad about that. But, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. I'm sure I was talking about something important. I don't know. Dark Souls 2 is definitely a more difficult game overall than Dark Souls 1. Like, that's absolutely true. I mean, you can just out-DPS Dark Souls 1 to where just nothing is a threat. But, Dark Souls 2, I want to say it's a more even experience, difficulty-wise. But the thing is the bosses, more broadly, are much easier. Much easier. With a couple of exceptions. And actually, those exceptions are where the game shines. Which almost makes it disappointing that I'm not going to get to do the DLC bosses in this run, but not really. Like, I don't know. I don't really care. Like, just because if you included them, this run would be not impossible, but pretty close. No, not even close to impossible. Of course, it would be entirely possible, but significantly less fun because there would be significantly more for me to worry about. I want to say that we're running well so far, but that doesn't bring me any confidence because the crashes I have been experiencing seem more or less random. Usually they happen under load, like I'm playing something or doing something, but that's not always true. I've had crashes while just watching YouTube recently. Last night, after pulling out, I made a couple of changes. I pulled out my Elgato, even though I seriously doubt that was causing a problem. I pulled out my Elgato and I pulled out the RAM that I suspected was causing the problem. I haven't crashed since then. But I did think I was going to crash last night. I was doing a practice run, and it had all the hallmarks of the crashes I've been suffering, except that because they're not CTDs, so I'm not going to desktop. I'm black screening, which I turned on crash reports to try to identify specifically what the problem was. But I'm not getting reports. Like, it's crashing before it can log anything. Like, that's how bad it is, which is bad. That's bad, right? And the case that my rig is in is a coffin. Like, it's a horrible, evil, overheating, awful, is bad. Is really bad. I just had never had problems, like actual problems before, but I'm just aware that notoriously this case is a coffin. So I mean, I was very worried. I was going through piece by piece trying to identify the problem. But without crash reports, that's very difficult. So I was under the impression that it was my memory. I pulled it. That seems to have worked. But I had all the hallmarks of the crash last night with like audio stuttering that comes first. Like everything seems fine except the audio in my headset starts stuttering, which is my first like sign like, okay, I'm crashing. Great. And then my frame rate plummeted, but it never crashed. I couldn't control the game, but the game never crashed. And eventually, after about 5 minutes, I was able to get into Task Manager and kill the app. And then it was fine. Like, I didn't crash. So I don't know if I'm calling that a win or not, because that still indicates that there's a problem, but at least it didn't crash, and it hasn't crashed. So, I'm gonna actually be... You have no idea, again, especially since I pulled the VODs, so very few people have seen it. But, my heart falls, like my mood collapses when it happens, because, like, this is what I want to be doing. I really had this, like, streaming schedule set out. I wanted to do some things that I thought would be really fun. And I just haven't been able to. It's been days of trying to get this. Or trying to get streams, because this is going to... The truth is, and I've settled into, I'm going to want to kill myself if I, like, really aggressively try to run this run. And, like to get the job done. I'm going to be very unhappy by the time I do finish it. So I am going to take breaks, I think. I think that I'm probably going to stick to one run per day, assuming I don't die in the first hour. If I die in the first hour, I start over, fine. But if I get as far as, like, the Iron Keep and I die, let's not fucking restart, because y'all have to sit through the same thing you just sat through, which is no fun for you. Like, a speedrun, it's fine, because a speedrun... Maybe I'm wrong. Actually, I found that that's been true since I started this YouTube channel. The things I think people are going to enjoy, they don't, and the things I think are kind of lame, people seem to enjoy. So I may be wrong, but I don't feel like I would want to watch somebody restart the same run and go through the same processes again. And I don't want to switch things up because I have an idea of how to safely do this, and switching things up just introduces new variables, which makes it less likely that I'm going to accomplish the goal. So it just... I think if we get a long ways and I die, we'll probably switch to something like... I know I had chatters asking for Oblivion. That's been, like, a thing they've been talking about. I really actually would like to play Pathologic, quite frankly. It's my great shame that I've never beaten Dark Souls 3, so may as well do that. New Vegas is just in my head as something I would like to do. There are so many options of fucking things that we ought to do. But, as a rule, I think I want to do... not challenge runs necessarily, but like something more interesting than just playthroughs, because I don't find those interesting personally. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just not the kind of content that I'm interested in. So, I don't know. I'm just feeling myself out here at this point. We'll figure it out. This run, though, again, the first hour or so is so consistent now. There's just, like, there's nothing to worry about. It's just, going through the motions. And then, hopefully not... I don't know. So again, Harvest Valley should have been so easy to get through, and I just died for absolutely no reason because I have to go out of my way to get Lightning Bolt, or it's not Lightning Spear. I can't remember what it's called. I have to go out of my way to get it, which it just puts me in extra danger. But it was still a situation I shouldn't have died from. I don't think I've ever died in that location where the elevator is and the two guys drop down, and I was just like, I was honestly fucking around. I was just kind of playing around because it's Harvest Valley. It's not a difficult area. I was just kind of playing around, talking to chat. It's tragic, man. My hopes are pretty high because I feel like I crashed before I got out of Majula the last 2 times, I think. The first day where I was crashing, I tried 3 different times to get the stream up and running. But I had the same results over and over. So hopefully we can just put this behind us and not worry about it. I didn't start stuttering until Pirate Land. I can't remember what that fucking area is called. So a couple, like maybe 90 minutes into the run is when I started stuttering last night. And I think it was tied to trying to open dashboard with my controller to check the time. I don't know. Fingers crossed. You never know. Come on, dummy. At some point I had to have a serious conversation with myself about why I was bothering to light this bonfire, so I just kind of stopped. I don't think I fucking pulled him. Oh, I did! Proud Knight. Oh, the Proud Knight Soul. I take the Proud Knight Soul as an indicator of it's a good omen, you know? Yeah, if we ended up playing Oblivion, I don't even know what we would do because it's been so long. But I suppose that would probably be at least part of the fun. If we were to do a Skyrim playthrough, I want it to be like a very heavily modded playthrough. I would have to spend like an entire goddamn day, like literally like 10 hours modding, before it was something I wanted to do on stream. So I would want to create an experience that was like new for me. Ooh, the loot drops are atrocious. I also thought if you took the no death requirement off and did like throwing knives only, that might be fun. Throwing knives aren't that bad. It would make some fights, it would make some sections way easier, and other sections probably not easier, just they would take a lot longer. Yay! First half hour, it just bores me to tears now. Dark Souls 2 does not get the appreciation it deserves, and it's definitely, coming off the heels of Dark Souls 1 is definitely the why. Dark Souls 1 is weird because it's obviously, like, a mainstream hit, like, it's a very popular game, but it's also got, like, really strong cult elements to it. And I think those cult elements are like, I actually do blame the community to some degree for the dislike of this one. It's just my opinion. But there certainly seems to be the sentiment that this was supposed to be Dark Souls 1.5, not Dark Souls 2. But even the world design, I don't mind too much. It's not as clean as Dark Souls 1. It's not as... I guess Bloodborne's is probably better. But I saw nothing in Dark Souls 3 to indicate that that was any better than Dark Souls 2. In fact, I'd say it's worse. Because if you want to warp, at least here you can warp bonfire to bonfire rather than having to go back to your hub world to warp. Bloodborne had that same problem as well, though. Oh, that was not how this was supposed to happen. It worked out in the end, though. Oh my god, the non-existent drop rates! What the fuck? It doesn't really matter. Actually, yeah, honestly, trying to farm out armor with the coin in this first section is kind of like becoming vestigial. Like it's just becoming, that's the word I'm looking for, right? I think it is. A vestigial structure. It's like something that used to have a purpose, but just, yeah, that's right. Something that used to have a purpose biologically that kind of no longer does. It's like an evolutionary holdover. It's what I would call, oh, something did drop. Oh yeah, and then I kind of ran off. It was nothing though. But farming out armor is just really not, it's just really not necessary. I don't think it really heightens my survivability, and I get an armor set the way I've been doing it now. 2 armor sets, in fact, between the, whatever this armor set is called, that's in the stupid area with the skeletons that doesn't really have a purpose. It doesn't have a purpose, but we're doing it now just for the extra souls, but also because that armor set is quite good. And at some point, you want armor, right? Like, armor isn't completely pointless in this game. It's just, like, the earliest armor that you pick up. There's definitely, like, some biz gear that you get out of this area, but... Well, no, not like it's actually biz, but, like, biz for the area, right? But outside of that, if you don't get those specific pieces of armor as drops, there's not really a point. Oh, actually, that's one of them. Actually, those are the good gauntlets you get from this area. Good, quote-unquote. Better than anything else. I stubbornly don't want to heal, but I really oughta. You prick. I'm just going to heal because I'm just being stubborn. Hey. I ain't scared of you. I didn't need to heal, though. Oh, I got him locked in, too. Ah! The hope is that that guy will drop a firebomb. Not that the 200 souls matters. Just end up buying one, but... It's funny, if you don't buy a firebomb, you will inevitably pick one up. What am I trying to say? If you don't buy one, you're gonna have to backtrack and get one, but if you do, inevitably one will drop on your way to the, explosive barrels. Which, blowing up the explosive barrels to the wall, it's not an effective... Well, it is an effective shortcut in that it literally shortens, you know... If you're speedrunning, it shortens your path, but... I don't consider it a very meaningful time save. Outside of explicitly speedrun play. You know, I can't bring myself to do the big stick playthroughs. I really just can't. What the fuck? Oh, that was the wrong section, okay. I was like, where's my hat? Oh, I was thinking too, just for like shits and giggles, it might be really fun to power stance hand axes. That would be so stupid, but they're pretty good. They're not bad, and they'd be easy to power stance. Like, I don't know. Might be fun. Yeah, missing out on the Proud Knight's Soul is kind of a bummer, because the 3k is exactly enough to buy the weapon that I want in case it doesn't drop. But without it, I get stuck farming it. Luckily, it's a very common drop, so it's very quick to farm, but like... I don't know. You just always want things to go optimally, right? A little frustrating how this area is practically a well put together area. Like it's up to the standard, I think, but a lot of the areas that come after don't really even come close to just like the layout or to how effective the layout is. See? What did I fucking tell you? Come on, fatty. I had a chatter telling me that they were like really bad with the timing with the Ninja Turtles, and I actually don't understand why. I seriously, I think it's probably some of the easiest timing. I mean, I guess, like I said, there are bosses who I should have had down ages ago that took me a very long time to get down. So I guess that's just Dark Souls. Like, sometimes even the easy things feel difficult. Okay. Come on now. So this has to happen because we have to move Kale for, I think, no less than 2 achievements at least. Maybe more? At least 2 achievements. Oh, actually, no, 3 achievements. It's the first time in a minute I fucked up that drop attack. I think he has a gesture, so that's Gesture Maestro. You have to inherit his equipment, which is another achievement, and then I also think you need him to increase the pop. The fuck is going on? I didn't crash, but something happened. What happened? I see that my microphone's working. I'm waiting for the controller to connect. Audio? What the fuck? I don't understand these problems. I actually don't understand why I'm having these problems. Am I connected? No, it just kind of looks like I am. Holy moly. Alright, it's okay. I'm just gonna close the game. I see my microphone's working. I'm gonna close the game, switch scenes, get this sorted, and then we shall continue.